Hey everyone, Cap from TCG Break here, bringing you my Swordsoul deck profile for the November 2021 format. This is a very strong Tier 1 deck, being released in the recent Burst of Destiny set, and is able to put up rather daunting boards using a variety of synchro monsters. So with that being said, before I get into the video, I wanted to mention that TCG Break is now an affiliate with TCG Player, so if you are interested in supporting the channel, feel free to use our affiliate link in the description below the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the main monster lineup, I'm playing 3 copies of Swordsoul of Mo Yi. When Mo Yi is normal or special summoned, you are able to reveal 1 Swordsoul card or a worm monster in your hand and special summon 1 Swordsoul token to your side of the field. Pretty much all of the Swordsoul monsters in the main deck have this special summon effect, which allows you to continue your plays in the extra deck into many of your synchro monsters, since the token that is special summoned is a tuner. Additionally, while that token is on the field, you are locked out of being able to special summon monsters except synchro monsters. Mo Yi also has the very useful effect, if it is sent to the grave as synchro material, you can draw 1 card. This is an excellent starter overall, and helps you synchro into a card such as Qi Xiao in order to dig deeper into your deck for additional resources, as well as Swordsoul monsters to continue your synchro summons. Continuing with the Swordsoul monsters, I'm playing 3 copies of Swordsoul Strategist Long Yuan. Long Yuan is able to be special summoned from your hand simply by discarding 1 other Soul Sword card, and then you are able to special summon 1 Swordsoul token, which is once again level 4 and a tuner. Long Yuan is excellent to get into a card such as the Baronnet des Fleurs in order to put up a negate on your board, and if Long Yuan is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you are able to burn your opponent for 1200 points of damage. This can be a useful effect, especially when playing into the time limit. Additionally, I'm playing 3 copies of Swordsoul of Taya. You are able to banish 1 Swordsoul card or a worm monster from your graveyard in order to special summon the level 4 tuner Swordsoul token using Taya's effect, and if Taya is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you are able to send 1 Swordsoul card or a worm monster from your deck to the grave. This is helpful to get a card such as Swordsoul Blackout into the graveyard in order to possibly later banish it, then take advantage of the token it generates. I'm also playing 3 copies of Incredible Ecclesia, the Virtuous. This is an excellent card going second, as if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon Ecclesia from your hand, and it also helps get your plays started, as it has the quick effect during the main phase, where you contribute it to special summon 1 Swordsoul monster from your hand or deck. So depending upon the situation, if you have another Swordsoul in your hand, you may special summon the Mo Yi in order to reveal that Swordsoul in your hand and generate a token, or if you already have a Swordsoul card in your grave, you could special summon the Taya in order to banish that card in your graveyard and once again generate a Swordsoul token. Moving on to the hand trap lineup, I'm playing 2 copies of Effect Veiler and 2 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I am running Crossout Designator in this deck, which is why I am running 2 of each of these cards, as your plays could be severely hindered if, for example, they would hit your Mo Yi with an Effect Veiler, preventing the summon of your Swordsoul token, or they could hit the search from your deck to your hand with the Ash Blossom when using the effect of a card such as Qi Xiao. Nevertheless, both of these hand traps are fairly useful to see in your hand as well, which is why I'm playing multiple copies, as even if you banish 1 off of the Crossout Designator, you may still have the chance to see 1 in your hand or in later draws. Continuing with the hand trap lineup, I'm playing 2 Nibiru, the Primal Being, as well as 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence. In some cases, you are able to protect your synchro plays from Nibiru using a card like the Baronnet des Fleurs, but in some cases you may not see a line of play in order to bring that card out, so once again having 2 copies ensures that you are able to have a copy left to spare if you would banish 1 off of the Crossout Designator. As Nibiru is still a rather powerful card, especially in the mirror match, as well as against decks such as Dragon Link and Drytron. Infinite Impermanence is still a very useful hand trap, and I'm playing 2 copies to once again possibly have one as a crossout designator target, though it is helpful to see in your starting hand nonetheless. And to round it out for the monster lineup, as well as start the spell lineup, I'm playing the 1 Destiny Hero Celestial, 1 Destiny Hero Dasher, and 3 copies of Fusion Destiny. I believe the Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer package greatly enhances this deck's ability to have a follow-up should its primary plays be significantly interrupted, though if you are not looking to play the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, you could of course play additional worm support, such as the Tenyi monsters. Celestial has the very useful effect that you may use in the mid to late game, where if you have no cards in your hand, you can banish Celestial, as well as 1 Destiny Hero monster from your grave, and draw 2 cards. This effect simply could give you the advantage you need in order to get into your Swordsoul's, or possibly finish out the game. Dasher also has the useful effect, while it is in your graveyard, and you draw a monster during your draw phase, you can reveal that monster to your opponent and special summon it. And of course, the 3 copies of Fusion Destiny serve as a way to get out your Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, and is typically the last thing you will do on your turn, as after it resolves, you are unable to special summon monsters for the rest of that turn, except Dark Hero monsters. Continuing with the spell lineup, I'm playing 3 copies of Swordsoul Emergence, as well as 1 Swordsoul Sacred Summit. Emergence simply acts as your in-archetype reinforcement of the army for any Swordsoul monster in your deck, and Sacred Summit is your in-archetype monster reborn for 1 Swordsoul monster in your graveyard. And both of these cards have the effect, if it is banished, where you can target 1 Swordsoul monster or worm-type monster you control, and either increase or decrease its level by 1 until the end of that turn. This level modulation is especially useful if, for example, you wanted to synchro summon into the virtual world Shen Shen or Yazi. I am playing 3 copies of Crossout Designator. This is a great addition to this deck in order to protect your combos from problematic hand traps such as Nibiru, Effect Veiler, or Infinite Impermanence, as it has the effect where you can declare 1 card name, banish 1 card of that declared name from your main deck, and negate its effects, as well as activated effects and effects on the field of cards with that name until the end of that turn. As for draw support, I'm playing 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. This deck is not too heavily reliant on the extra deck, as there are a few flex spots overall, so Pot of Prosperity allows you to possibly get into a starter, such as Mo Yi or Ecclesia if you are playing second, though of course this card does slightly conflict with Mo Yi's draw effect when it is sent to the grave when used as material for a synchro summon, but nevertheless, Prosperity certainly gives the deck a much needed consistency boost in order to further your plays on the following turns. I'm also playing 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. This is great going second, as even if you don't see a card like Crossout Designator in your starting hand, and your opponent activates a monster effect during your main phase, you are able to take advantage of one of Triple Tactics Talent's effects by either digging deeper into your deck by drawing 2 cards, taking control of one of their monsters, or simply giving you hand knowledge by being able to look at their hand and shuffle 1 card from their hand back into their deck. And to round it out for the main deck, I have a few one-ofs. I'm playing the 1 Called by the Grave, the 1 copy of Instant Fusion, and the only remaining trap card, Swordsoul Blackout. Called by the Grave of course helps you protect your plays from problematic hand traps, such as Ash Blossom and Effect Veiler. Instant Fusion is an excellent extender, as I am playing the Magic-y Beast Fusion monster, which is a level 4 tuner, and Swordsoul Blackout is an excellent card to possibly give you another Swordsoul token if it is banished, or simply act as a disruption on your opponent's turn, as it has the effect where you can target a worm monster you control and 2 cards your opponent controls and destroy them. Now moving on to the extra deck, I'm playing 2 copies of Swordsoul Grandmaster, Qi Zhao, and the 1 copy of Swordsoul Supreme Sovereign, Cheng Ying. Qi Zhao has the effect when it is synchro summoned to either add to your hand or banish 1 Swordsoul card from your deck, and it also has the very useful quick effect where you can banish a Swordsoul card or a worm monster from your hand or graveyard in order to target an effect monster on the field and negate its effects until the end of that turn. This is useful if you are looking to generate another token by banishing a card such as Blackout, or if you need to modulate one of your Swordsoul's levels by banishing a card such as Emergence. Cheng Ying gains 100 attack and defense for each card that is banished, and also monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each card banished, and it has the very useful effect, if it would be destroyed by a card effect, you can instead banish 1 card from your graveyard instead, and furthermore, if a card is banished, you are able to banish 1 card from your opponent's field and graveyard. This is once again useful to banish a card such as your Blackout to generate a token, in order to possibly further your plays on the following turn. As for the Yangzing Synchro monsters, I'm playing 1 Boxia, Brightness of the Yangzing, as well as 1 Yazi, Evil of the Yangzing. When Boxia is synchro summoned, you are able to target cards on the field up to the number of different original attributes of worm-type monsters used for its synchro summon, and shuffle those targeted cards into the deck. Additionally, you are able to special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your grave, simply by targeting 1 card you control, destroying that targeted card, to then special summon the card from your grave. And Yazi is also a fairly useful card in this deck, as it is unable to be targeted by your opponent's card effects, and when it is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the grave, you are able to special summon 1 worm-type monster from your deck in defense position. This helps you advance your synchro plays on the turns to come, or simply gives you the 1 extender you need in order to possibly end the game. Additional synchro support, I'm playing the 1 Adamancipator Risen Dragite, 1 copy of Crimson Blader, and the 1 Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. Since Moyi is a water-type monster, you are able to take advantage of Dragite's effect that when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can negate that activation and destroy that card. Crimson Blader is an excellent card to synchro summon into in the mirror match, as it has the effect where if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, your opponent is unable to normal or special summon level 5 or higher monsters on their next turn. And Draco Berserker is an excellent utility card, as when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can quick effect banish that card. Additionally, if Berserker destroys an effect monster by battle, it gains attack equal to that destroyed monster's attack, and it's able to make a second attack during that battle phase. So as you might imagine, this is an excellent effect when you are trying to end the game. And to round it out for the synchro monsters, I'm playing the 1 Virtual World Kyubi, Shen Shen, the 1 Baronet de Fleur, 1 Ruddy Rose Dragon, and the 1 Geomathmech Final Sigma. Shen Shen is an excellent card to end your combos on, as it has the effect that any card sent from the field to the graveyard is banished instead, and it also allows you to recur one of your banished monsters to the grave, simply when one of your monsters declares an attack, and Shen Shen is effectively a walking macrocosmos, as if it is in your graveyard, you can banish 2 other monsters from your grave with different types and attributes to special summon Shen Shen from your graveyard. Baronet is able to target 1 card on the field and destroy it once per turn, and it also acts as a quick effect Omni-Negate, and lastly it has the once per turn effect, where you can target a level 9 or lower monster in your grave, return Baronet to the extra deck, and special summon that targeted monster. Most of the time you will synchro summon into the Baronet de Fleur using Long Yuan and the Swordsoul token it generates. Ruddy Rose Dragon is excellent in the Tri-Brigade matchup, as it has the effect where if it's synchro summoned, you can banish all cards from the graveyards. And it also has the useful quick effect, if your opponent activates a card or effect that would destroy a card you control, you can tribute Ruddy Rose Dragon and negate that activation. And lastly, Final Sigma is an excellent boss monster for this deck, and can prove fairly difficult for your opponent to beat over, as it is unaffected by other card effects while it's in the extra monster zone, and if it is in the extra monster zone, anytime it battles an opponent's monster, the battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. Rounding it out for the extra deck, I'm playing the 1 copy of Predaplant Verte Anaconda, the 1 Magic-y Beast Anziala Bolas, and of course the 1 Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. Verte enables you to bring out your Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer with relative ease, using its effect to pay 2,000 life points, and then send the Fusion Destiny to your grave in order for its effect to become that spell effect. The Magic-y Beast simply acts as a target for our instant fusion, as it is a level 4 tuner, in order to further your synchro plays, and the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is an excellent boss monster, as it is able to decrease the attack of all of your opponent's monsters by 200 for each hero card in your graveyard, and it has the useful quick effect where you can destroy 1 card you control and 1 card on the field. Phoenix Enforcer is also able to special summon itself back during the standby phase of the next turn, simply if it is destroyed by battle or card effect. Now moving on to the side deck, I'm playing the 1 copy of Droll and Lockbird, 1 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and 1 copy of Token Collector. These are primarily options to side into, serving as targets for your crossout designator, as your opponent may want to stop your ability to add cards from the main deck to the hand via the effect of Droll and Lockbird, or they could attempt to destroy one of your Swordsoul monsters when they activate their various effects to special summon a token in order to stop your synchro plays, or they may try to take advantage of your deck's token generation using the effect of a card such as Token Collector. So once again, these are great crossout designator targets for games 2 and 3. I'm also playing 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. This is primarily for the Tri-Brigade matchup, as its ability to quick effect tribute itself from your hand or face-up field to stop either player from banishing cards can outright end a Tri-Brigade player's turn. For the combo deck matchups, I'm playing 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. This simply allows you to negate all face-up monster effects of monsters your opponent controls, and is fairly useful in the Dragon Link and Drytron matchup, and Dark Ruler allows you to play, setting up your board of multiple interruptions in order to grind out the game in the following turns. For the back row heavy matchups, I'm playing 3 copies of Lightning Storm. This can prove useful against decks such as Altergeist as well as Eldritch, and has a great flexibility even if you are not facing a matchup that is playing many back row interruptions, as you can also use its effect to destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. And to round it out for the side deck, I'm playing 3 copies of Solemn Strike. Most of the decks in our current meta are very reliant on special summons, so Solemn Strike is an excellent choice to side into and can severely hinder many of the decks out there if timed appropriately. So this has been my Swordsoul deck profile for the November 2021 format. As always, if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more like it, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. Feel free to leave any suggestions regarding changes you would make to the deck in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, until the next one, have a nice day.